first thing I'm going to do is prepare the salt solution. And measure out 4.5 grams. I'm going to pour this into my Erlenmeyer flask. With 15 mLs of purified water. Purified in a little filter that I have. Okay, I've numbered these test tubes 1 through 5. Preparation for this experiment. And I'm going to add 40 drops of the copper chloride to each of these test tubes. I like that one. I'm just going to pause it so that I can save time. Okay, so I've added 40 drops of solution to all 5 of these test tubes. And this is my test tube 1, so I'll record that light blue color. And for my test tube 2, I need to have 1 ml of my salt solution. I'm going to add it to test tube number 2. And then I'm going to add 2 mLs of my salt solution to test tube 3 and 4 to test tube 4. Two mLs, test tube 3. And four mLs to test tube 4. And 4 mLs to test tube 5. am just going to use my piece of white paper to help me compare the solutions. So, test tube 1, test tube 2. This looks a little bit of like a lighter blue, more like greenish. I want to say it's more green than it is blue like this one. And then this one is definitely a lot more green, like a darker shade because of the higher concentration of the salt from the test tube 1 to test tube 3. It was more like a yellowish kind of green, like it's just getting, you know, higher concentration, so it's just getting more green. Okay. And test tube 5 was mixed the same as test tube 4, so they look about the same to me. Alright, so now I'm going to add 1 ml of silver nitrate to test tube 3. Just wanted to show you my 5 test tubes. Ooh. And all their color differences. And I'm gonna pause the video while that sits for 5 minutes. Okay, so it's been 5 minutes and this is test tube 3. And it's like back to a bluish color, but it has some precipitate on the bottom. So this is test tube 1 and test tube 3 together. Okay. And I've recorded my observations. Now I'm going to add 3 ml of water to test tube 4. And this has been cleaned out. So now that's going to start up. Take this picture. And I'm also going to add 3 ml of water to test tube 5. Okay, so right now I'm taking the temperature of test tube 4. I've kind of let this test tube sit in there so it could normalize a little bit. And the temperature in test tube 4 is 25 degrees Celsius. Hot in my house, I'm sorry. I'm going to record that at my data table. Okay, I prepared my hot water bath. It is at 62 degrees Celsius. And then I'm going to prepare my cold water bath. So here's my little cup of ice, half cup of ice, and let's just fill it with water. I'm going to give my thermometer a chance to cool off before I stick it in the cold water. So I'm recording my cold water bath at let's say 8 degrees Celsius. Yeah. And I'm going to put test tube number 5 into my hot water bath. Don't go anywhere. And I'm going to take the test tube 5 out, and it has turned green. Back. This is the control versus the hot water bath. Okay. So I wrote down that that was a shift towards the products. And I'm going to place test tube 5 into the cold water bath for a few minutes and let it cool down and see what happens. Alright, now my solution from my cold water bath is 10 degrees, well 9 degrees Celsius. And this is it in comparison to the room temperature one, so let me take the thermometer out. It turned back blue, so I'm going to take a picture of it. And so I'll say that this equilibrium shift went towards the reactants. It's test tubes for the control and test tube 5 that went in the cold water bath. And I will clean up and dispose of my products. I will put some sodium chloride into my remaining